mash tuns and recirculators, or rims tube, or rim system, I'm sorry, that we use as home distillers. But first things first, welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so what is a mash tun? What is a recirculator? What is a rim system? What is the main purpose? How do they work? And what is the parts of each? All right, but first things first, if you haven't had the chance yet to hit that subscribe button down there, please do so. It really does help this channel out a lot, and you know it. Let's answer some of them questions, okay? So what is a mash tun? Basically, a mash tun is a container that you combine your grist or your the milled grains or corn or whatever with warm water and try to keep it at a constant temperature, and it will help the conversion from convert the starches over into fermentable sugars. All right, what is a recirculator or rim system? Well, basically it's a system that will take the liquid out of that container. It will heat it and maintain a certain temperature and recirculate it around and around to do this, basically the same purpose. All right, and like I said before, the main purpose of a mash tun is to keep that mash temperature so that them enzymes can convert them sugars or them starches over into sugars. And that's what we need, right? That's what the yeast needs so we can make this all happen. All right, okay, so let's start with the first mash tun that I used for many, many years, and I don't even have one left anymore because, and I'll let you know why, is a lot of home distillers use the 10-gallon drink coolers. They fit it with a ball valve in the bottom, usually with some type of screen, or a false bottom, or a mash bag, or a combination of all. Okay, and what that is for is you mix your grains in warm water. The insulated cooler will help keep it at the certain temperature you want, right, for that enzyme action to take place. Okay, and then after, you know, you check the temperature. If you got to add a little bit of water, warm water up to get it to your magic number, and my magic number is 152, and to try to maintain that for about an hour. All right, and then you're going to do a starch test, and you're going, once this passes the starch test, you're ready to sparge those grains over into a fermentation vessel, right? Or you can put it into a barrel, or whatever the case may be. But usually I like to sparge it off and put it into fermentation vessel, wait till it cools down, add the yeast, and voila. It works very well for me for many, many years. But then it started showing signs of wear. The inside started kind of swelling up, and then it started to crack and it started to leak. But I don't know how many years I got out of it. So it was a good investment. I can't complain about the drink cooler at all. It works fantastic, okay? And it will keep it pretty close to the temperature you want. It don't lose very much. But you might, like I said, you might just have to add a little hot water to it just to boost the temperature up a little bit and just keep an eye on. Okay, so that is the mash tun, and I'm sorry I don't have one left anymore. The drink cooler mash tun. It works great for us home distillers or home brewers. I've used it for both, okay? So now we're gonna move on to something new for me, and we'll go into it a little bit more detail, okay? So for all my recirculator or rims, whatever you want to call it, I have a 10-gallon pot, and it's fitted with a ball valve, okay? And then we'll come back to that, but that's where everything starts. And then from the bottom of the pot, I got a pump right here, and it will pump it over to the rims tube. Okay, and the rims tube is inside the rims tube. Damn, I can't get it undone. There we go. Inside the rims tube, and I'm going to show you. Is the heating element, right? It needs to be cleaned. Is heating elements inside the rims tube. Okay, so the liquid goes in here, it's contacted by the heat, it contacts the heating element and flows through to here. So it flows through the rims tube. And then on this end, if you notice here, on the end of the rims tube is a temperature probe, which is connected to the PID controller, and that's going to tell the heating element coming on or off to maintain the set temperature. And then it's going to go at this hose. It's going to go at this hose to the top of the pot. It's going to spray down on top of the grains inside the basket. Okay, it'll flow through the grains back to the bottom of the valve and then do it all over again. Okay, all the components to this whole system is removable and cleanable. Everything down from, it's mounted down to this board by like these little bungee straps, which you can take off. You can take the rims tube off, clean it, put it away. Of course, all the hosings and baskets, everything on here is disassemble and clean at a very easy thing to do, all right? So that's one thing nice about this rim sim that I wanted to make sure is I can take things apart and clean them. Okay. So I got, in the pot here, I'll have about 6 to 7 gallons of water, and that's 6, okay? Yeah, I will say 6. And I can raise that 6 gallons of water at, starting at 55 degrees Fahrenheit up to 152 in about an hour. So that's not too bad. But I usually like to heat the water up in a brew pot over propane just because I think it's a little bit faster than that. So that works out pretty good to me. So how I normally do it is I warm it up in the brew pot. I'll transfer the water over to my mash tun here, and I'll just get the temperature up close, and then I'll stir in the grains, and then I will let the mash or the recirculator fine tune up to the proper temperature, right? And it works. That's fantastic. Now, if I'm doing corn, what I'll do is I'll add the corn in here too, and then add boiling water, and then I'll just let it sit for a while and to cook that corn, let's say. All right. And then what I'll do is once enough time for cooking the corn, and then I'll turn on the recirculator and let it recirculate. And what happens is the heat won't come on because it's already warm. And then it'll let it cool down and get us to that 152 so that then we can add in our other grains, all right? And we won't hurt the enzymes in that malted barley and all that, and that stuff we need. Now, a lot of times with corn too, I'll add the high temperature enzymes in to try to thin that. If anybody's done corn, you know how thick it gets. But I will add high temperature enzyme to it to help thin it up before everything else, okay? This system, you keep all them important temperatures constant, and it's consistent throughout the whole grain bed, and I think it works for a better conversion. And that's just my opinion, but I think it does a good job. I've used this with barley, you know, like say for making beer or a single malt, it works fantastic. And I also made it with bourbons, grain bills. It works fine. There was only one time they gave me a little bit of a fit, and is when I was making seven root bourbon, and it had the potatoes with the potato peels and stuff in there. A couple times it might have overflowed the basket, and the potato peels got stuck in my pump, and it killed my flow. But I did come up with a fix for that, and this is a filter, okay? I can put this on the bottom of my mash tun. It's just cam lock, and cam lock the hose on here, and there's a screen here. So if I notice that my flow is slowing down, I can shut the ball valve off. I can take this plug out, clean the screen, put it back in, and let's keep going, and that'll keep it out of my pump. So that works out fantastic. All right. So I believe this system is a game changer for my outfit. I just think I get better temperature control and better conversion. It's been doing pretty good. The only thing I'm going to add to it is I want to make a insulating jacket to put around the pot just to help keep some of the temperature in, just so the rims too don't have to work so hard. You know, I thought it'd be easy to do. Do I have to do it? No, I don't think I have to, but it works out great. The PID controller, there's a lot of information out there, and you figure out, check that out. Okay, I think I even have some on my channel about how I built this one. So check it out. What else? Oh, I guess that's about it. Oh, I know what I wanted to add. I do have a parts list for me to make. Basically this, I might have missed one or two items and where I bought them and relatively cost. If you would like a copy of that parts list, don't hold me to the pricing and all that stuff. It's just, I took a year or so to build this because I did a little bit at a time. And so some of the prices might have changed, okay? But it was I should be close, all right? So if you would like a copy of that part, just please let me know. And you could probably find stuff cheaper than I found it. Hey, that'd be great, or whatever your case may be. And if you would like a copy of it, just send me an email to stillworks@brewing@gmail.com, and I'll forward you a copy of that parts list over, and I'll be glad to do that. All right? So, is that all? I think it is. I'll be glad to put some of this stuff back into action. One thing I did not mention, I'll do that later. Okay, so I guess the last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks Abroad. Cheers, everybody.